Let's take a couple of moments and we'll walk through the initial and the system setup on Pioneer's DEH-X2800UI. So the first thing I want to do here is turn the radio off. Right now I'm on the AM/FM source. So I'm going to press and hold the source button for a couple of seconds. And that switches the head unit off, even though I still have the clock displayed on the screen. So now I'm going to press in on the volume control, and we're going to get into our initial and system setup. Here's the system menu, and if we roll over, here's the initial menu. Let's start with the initial menu. We'll press in on the volume control here. So the first thing we see here is our speaker and pre-out mode. That's the RCA output for running external amplifiers, what type of mode those are set in. So speaker will be on the left and RCA pre-out will be on the right. So we'll press in on the volume control. And we see here that the rear speaker is set to full range output. That's what rear means. And the subwoofer, the RCA output, is set to subwoofer output. If you want to change that, roll over with the volume control. And now both the rear speakers, rear speaker output and the RCA output are set to subwoofer output. And if we roll over one more time, you'll find both the rear speakers are full range and the RCA output. So rear speakers and RCA output are set to full range output. If you want to have subwoofer controls on the head unit and operate a subwoofer from an external amplifier, you want to roll over so that we at least see subwoofer in the RCA pre-out setting right there. All right, so once we're done with that, let's go back and roll over to the next setting here, which is system reset. And here you can press in on the volume control and initiate a full system reset to set everything back to the factory settings. All right, let's go back again. And that takes us to our initial menu. If we roll over, we can get to the system menu. And we'll press enter here to enter into the system menu. The first thing we see is USB auto on, and if we can press in, USB auto off. So that means that when I plug something into the USB port right here, it will automatically switch to the USB source and begin to play something from that USB source. If you don't want that to happen, if you maybe just want to plug USB in right here and charge your phone, but not switch to the USB source, you can switch that off. I like to keep that switched on because I use USB as a source very regularly, and I want it to automatically switch to USB and automatically begin to play. Let's roll over to the next setting, which is our clock set. Press enter. Here we can set the time on the clock, we can change the hours, press in, we can change the minutes, and we can go back and roll over to the format, which is 12-hour or 24-hour. Press in on the volume control for 12 or 24-hour format on the clock, and roll over to the next setting, which is auxiliary on. Here's the auxiliary input for the head unit, and that shows up in our source list when we press the source button here. If you don't use auxiliary on a regular basis, you can touch in on the volume control and switch auxiliary off, and that means when I press the source button, I won't see auxiliary in the list. I like to use auxiliary input, so I'm going to press in on the volume control and leave that auxiliary input turned on. And we'll roll over to the next setting, which is our Android wired connection. And we have two things to choose from inside the Android wired connection. If you're an Android phone user, this will be important to you. So press in on the volume control. And first we have app control, and this means that I can use the USB effectively as an auxiliary input. And when I plug in my Android phone with version 4.1 or higher, I can hear the music from almost any app on the phone right through the USB source. If you want to play back music that is stored on your phone, you can switch that Android wired function to memory. Memory means music that is stored on your phone, and we will use the Android MTP or Media Transfer Protocol source and play back music through USB. Both of these settings will charge your Android phone. One is for playing back music from apps. The other is for playing back music from music that is stored on your phone. We'll leave that on the memory function for right now. Now if we press the back button, we can roll over to the next setting, which is back around to USB auto on or off. At any time, you can just press the source button to escape this menu.